Hey guys, Sam from Manfa's Makes. So, welcome back to all my returners and welcome in all my newbies. It is so great to see you all. I hope you are having a wonderful week and I hope you are all staying safe and getting some good quality crafting time in. So, why am I here today? Well, I will tell you. There is a tag going around the YouTube streets, which I am sure a lot of you are very, very familiar. It is the 23 non-yarny things about me. I am sure that I have been tagged by a few people, but the latest one that I saw that I was tagged in was the wonderful Abbie over at Blue Heart Crochet. Now, if you are not familiar with Abbie, she is a lovely young lady who lives here in the UK, the same as I do. She's up in the north, I'm down in the south. She has a lovely channel. She is a very, very open and honest young lady. She has talked about um, her life and her craft revolving around the fact that she has autism and how crafting helps her with that. She has some wonderful, wonderful projects on her channel that she shows us. She both knits and crochets. She does wonderful socks. I've seen her do a draft excluder for the bottom of the door. I've seen wonderful blankets. I've seen fabulous amigurumi. I think she delves in a little bit of everything when it comes to knitting and crocheting. I personally am very envious over anyone who can knit socks. I think that is absolutely wonderful. One day I will give it a go. I just don't know when. And it is lovely for me to watch a fellow UK content creator because there aren't as many of us as there is of you guys over the pond, and I love each and every one of you. But yes, we are in the minority a little bit. So I do enjoy watching Abbie's channel. I will of course put Abbie's channel down in the description box, and once again it is Blue Heart Crochet. Please do go over and check her out. And if she is your cup of tea, chuck some yarn through her window and join her family, because she is a small channel like me. I think only just recently did she reach her 500 family members, and possibly may have just got her community tab. So we are roughly, around the same figures on our channels. She also has two lovely doggies that you sometimes see in her videos. She's also got fish, and I think her fish recently had babies. There's all sorts of exciting things going on over there, so please do go and check her out. So I thought while I had 5 minutes, I would jump on here and do the 23 non-yarny things about me, because Abbie did tag me. And like I said, if you have already tagged me and I haven't seen it, or I've just forgotten that you tagged me, no offense meant, no preferential treatment. It's just literally I watched Abbie's video the other day. I was trying to catch up on her channel because, as we all know, there are so many wonderful content creators that post so many wonderful videos that you literally just cannot get to them all every day. And sometimes I have to pick a channel and binge watch all the episodes that I have missed, and basically park myself in your driveway and watch the videos that I've missed so that I am up to date. But then it might take me a few weeks or a month or so to get back to you again. So I'm always playing catch up, but it means that I can have a good old binge on your channel, which I really, really enjoy. So anyway, Abbie, if you're watching this, hi sweetheart, thank you so much for tagging me. Thank you for the shout out on your channel. And I hope that a few of my family members who are not familiar with you go over and support you. So shall we get into it? Because I need to cook dinner in a second for my hungry family. So basically these questions I have to answer with a non-yarny related thing, and I think they are all my favourites. So you will get to know me a little bit better. So let's kick it off. My favourite colour. Well, you all should know by now that rainbow is right up there. I also enjoy sparkle, glitter, girly, that kind of thing. But if I have to pick just one, it would be pink. I am a pink lover. Sorry to all you pink haters out there, but somebody has to love pink, and I am one of those people. And then closely second is purple. I'm a pink and purple girl, and I always have been ever since I was little. Second question, genre of music. Well, I would have to say pop music, good old cheesy pop. So I remember the 90s and the noughties specifically growing up, you know, being a preteen and then a teen. So your typical Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, Spice Girls, Westlife, Boyzone, you know, Girls Aloud, Destiny's Child, all those kinds of things. There was me bopping away in my bedroom with my hairbrush, you know, like most young girls do. And boys, actually, I've caught my boys dancing in front of the mirror with a hairbrush as a microphone before. So yeah, good old fashioned cheesy pop music will be guaranteed to get me out of my seat and up dancing at parties and discos. So yes, we will go with pop. I do like other genres of music. But yeah, pop would be my top one, I think. Okay, favorite food. Okay, so that I have a lot of favorite meals. But if I have to pick a group of foods, I would probably have to say Italian is right up there for me. Your pizza, your pasta, um, you know, ice cream, all those wonderful things that they make over there. It's not very good for my waistline, um, but I really do enjoy a good Italian. We have lasagna and spaghetti bolognese, pizza regularly in this household. So yeah, Italian would be up there, closely followed by Mexican actually. I really do enjoy Mexican. And then probably Chinese would be my third choice. So there you go. There's my top three. Soda or pop? Okay, so I am a Pepsi girl rather than a Coke girl. But I prefer Pepsi Max out of all the Pepsis. I also like the Pepsi Cherry. Um, yeah, yeah, I'm gonna go with Pepsi Max for that one. Animal. Wow, do you really have to ask, guys? I mean, come on. What do we reckon? Yes, of course, it's the flamingo. Whether it's because the flamingo is also my favourite colour, I couldn't really tell you why flamingos are my favourites. When I was growing up, actually, as a little girl, it used to be frogs. I had a massive collection of frogs, and I think my mum still has my collection up in the attic at her house. And I couldn't tell you why I liked frogs back then either. I think looking back, I had a teacher when I was in primary school, and she was a frog fanatic, and she used to have lots of different ornaments and bits and pieces around the classroom. And I can remember picking them up and being absolutely fascinated with them right from, you know, 4 or 5 years old. So I think that's where the frog thing came when I was younger. Um, I now have the best frog in my life now though, and that is of course the lovely Jen at Froggywentaknitting. Um, but yeah, flamingos have taken over, and they've kind of been my favourite for the past sort of 6, 7, 8 years now. Whenever we're out and about and I see something that's flamingo themed or flamingo shaped, it's actually quite embarrassing for my family because I will be the slightly strange one in the middle of a supermarket aisle screaming flamingo at the top of my voice, and everyone knows that I've then found something with a flamingo on it, and it's probably going to be coming home with me. So yes, that is my favorite animal. Okay, holiday. It's got to be Christmas. It's got to be Christmas for me. I loved it as a child. I was very lucky that I had very lovely Christmases growing up. It was always a time for family. It was always at my mum and dad's, but we would have all the grandparents, aunties, uncles, you name it. It was a big thing in my house growing up as a little girl. And we've even carried that on now to the point where every Christmas, even now at 35 years old, I still go to my mum and dad's for Christmas. And even though it was enjoyable back then as a child, it is even more enjoyable now as an adult, watching my children enjoy their Christmases, seeing their faces light up when they open their presents, realizing what Father Christmas has given them is just a feeling that cannot be explained. Um, yeah, seeing the joy that is created for my children, and it's just so magical, and it's twinkly and glittery and pretty. And yeah, I mean, even as an adult, I believe in the magic. The magic is strong with me, and it's strong in my house, and it's still a big family affair for me. So yeah, it's got to be Christmas. Um, Book. Oh, this is a really, really hard one. There are a lot of great books out there, and I have read a lot of books. I like books for different reasons, but I am also one of these people that read a type of book depending on how I'm feeling or what's been recommended or what I'm fancying to pick up and read at that moment. It could be a romance, it could be a thriller, it could be fantasy, it could be or anything. Just it has to pique my interest enough for me to pick it up and read it. I mean, naming some off the top of my head: Hunger Games, really enjoyed those. Twilight, really enjoyed those. Um, what else? There was a book I read when I was younger called Flowers in the Attic. That was quite a intense book that has stuck with me as, impacting me emotionally. That is a good book. Um, The Colour Purple, that's a really good book. But ultimately, I think because I really, really got into my read, well, I learned to read very, very, very young. In fact, I was starting to read basic words even before I started school. Reading has always been a big passion of mine, and I really, really do enjoy it. So I have read a lot over the years. Growing up, I really loved the Judy Blume books, but ultimately, it has to be J.K. Rowling with the Harry Potters. I have read them more times than I can count on both hands, both feet, and about 10 other people's hands and feet. I can read them over and over and over again. I also enjoy the films, but I always find the book is always better than the film. So yeah, ultimately Harry Potter, I think that had the biggest or the more repeat readings of anything else. Oh, another one that I really enjoyed as well was Anne Frank's Diary. That is a book that I recommend everyone should read if they have the time. Pizza topping. Okay, so as I discussed, I love Italian food. Pizza is one of my favourites. I will eat pretty much any pizza that is put in front of me as long as it doesn't have pineapple on it, because in my world, pineapple does not belong on a pizza. I'm sorry if that offends anyone, but no, I cannot do pineapple on a pizza. I also don't like olives. I don't like mushrooms. I don't like anchovies. Um, yeah, so anything really. I mean, I love chicken bacon, peppers, and red onion. I love pepperoni. I love cheese and tomato. But I could sit here listing a lot of the flavours. So I think let's just go for a meat feast, all the meats, um, as my ultimate pizza topping, and then Sam will be a happy girl. Pastime. Well, obviously, because this is non-Yarny, what I do with this is, top priority. But after that, I really enjoy watching movies with my children. I love reading books. I love visiting with family and friends, going for coffee and cake. Um, yeah, I'm pretty much up for anything really. But yeah, snuggling up on the couch and watching a movie as a family is quite lovely. Getting stuck into a good book is lovely for me. But we all know that this is number one priority and what I spend most of my free time doing. Um, TV series. Now, this is a hard one because actually myself and Mike don't watch a lot of live telly. We watch a lot of Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, but it's normally things that we've either pre-recorded, and you know, we catch up on those as and when we can, or like Disney Plus's movies for the children, Netflix if we get stuck into a series. I did actually buy Mike a poster. I don't think it was the Christmas just gone, it was the Christmas before, and it's 100 box sets that people must see, like they're the top 100. And it's like a scratch card. They're covered in foil, and when you've watched that box set or TV series, you can scratch it off. So myself and Mike are trying to work through that poster. So I think some of the more recent TV series we've watched are things like The Vikings, The Crown. What else have we watched? Downton Abbey, love Downton Abbey, and I love The Crown, and I love The Vikings. To be fair, there are some really good TV series out there at the moment. The one that we are working through at the moment is The Walking Dead. Now, I know that isn't going to be everyone's cup of tea, but Mike and I do enjoy that series. And because that is the current one, I'm going to say that is my current favourite. But I have enjoyed all the ones that I have just mentioned. I also really enjoyed Orange is the New Black. I enjoyed Riverdale. I enjoyed Sex Education. There is a lot of great TV, but do you know what, guys? Ever since I found YouTube, I mainly just watch your guys' videos most of the time. It's not very often we sit and watch other TV. Um, so yeah, but you know, I can't, it's got to be non-Yarny. If it was Yarny, it would be you guys and all your channels, but non-Yarny at the moment, it's The Walking Dead. Okay, favourite fruit. So I thought when I was asked this up on GrannyDee's panel a couple of weeks ago that it was banana, but then I actually thought about it a bit more in detail. And actually, I really love cherries, but because they're seasonal and we can't get them all year round, well, I say that. I'm sure you probably can get them all year round, but when they're out of season, they're really expensive. So I only tend to buy them when they are in season and they're a little bit cheaper. Cherries are one of my absolute favourites, closely followed by banana, I think. Vegetable, that's easy. Broccoli. Broccoli all the way. I also love cauliflower. Um, and I especially love it when I do broccoli and cheese, cauliflower, broccoli, cheese bake. So it's just basically florets of cauliflower and broccoli. I chop up a bit of bacon. I do a lovely creamy cheese sauce, pour it over the top, bake it in the oven. Oh, with some nice bread and butter. That is absolutely to die for. So yes, my favourite is broccoli, and then closely followed by carrots and then peas, I think. Subject in school. Okay, so I loved history. History was a big favourite of mine, but I also really loved what we called food technology. That would be where we were learning to cook basic things like cakes and bread and, you know, that kind of thing. So cookery classes at school, I really enjoyed them. But ironically now, as a grown-up, now that I have to cook every single day for my family, and I hate cooking now, absolutely detest it. If I could afford a chef, I would hire one, but I can't. So it's up to little old me. So we'll go for history on that one. Actor slash actress. Again, so many amazing actors and actresses. Some still with us, some already parted. Up there for me is Robin Williams. He is very high on the list, if not at the top. I also enjoy Tom Hanks, Vin Diesel, Gerard Butler, Leonardo DiCaprio. There's loads, absolutely loads. But if I really had to pick and pinpoint it to one, the favourite actor would be Robin Williams, that's for sure. An actress, again, there are so many wonderful ones, but I really do think my top actress has got to be Julia Roberts. You know, that is just, I just love her movies. I think she's absolutely great. So yeah, there we go. Singer, again, what a hard question. There are so many good ones out there. At the moment, I'm really loving Ed Sheeran. Yeah, we'll stick with Ed Sheeran rather than run a really long list. There are lots and lots of others, but I'm really loving Ed Sheeran at the moment. Superhero. Not really into the superheroes. I don't understand why there's DC, Marvel, why they're not all just one thing. It's really not my bag at all. But obviously, having three boys, they are into it, and I do watch. Well, it's on, and I'm in the room, but I'm normally crocheting and not really paying attention. If I really have to pick a superhero, I would probably go for Iron Man. Um, but in my real life, my superheroes are my mum and dad. I would be completely lost without them. I genuinely do see them as my heroes, my inspiration. Um, yeah, but if I have to pick a fictional one, I think it would be Iron Man. Okay, comedian. We have some great comedians over here. You've got Sarah Millican, you've got Russell Howard, Lee Evans, although he's retired now, Jason Manford, Michael McIntyre. Um, yeah, I've been to see Jason Manford and I've met him and had a photo with him. I've been to see Lee Evans, I've met him, had a photo with him. Was supposed to go and see Russell Howard, but it got cancelled because of, you know, the thing we're not supposed to discuss that made things lock up for a while. Um, and he rescheduled, so we went to the reschedule, but when we arrived, he had actually become poorly with the thing that we're not meant to mention and got things locked down for a while. And then I never received the email for the second reschedule date. So we actually missed it. And we had been waiting over a year since I bought the tickets to see him. And I was absolutely gutted. So whenever he's down this way again, I am definitely buying more tickets. And I am annoyed that my money was wasted, that I didn't see him last time. But there are bigger things to get annoyed about in the world. And I'm sure I will see him at some point. Um, but I think ultimately for me, Lee Evans is my favourite. Season. Okay, so Manfa is a little bit hard to please. Winter, I really don't like the cold. Really don't like the cold. I really struggle with the cold. I've got the heating on. I've got about 10 layers on and I am still cold. So winter is out for me and it's always so damp and miserable. And then not only are you cold, but you're wet and you're cold. So it gets right into your bones. Oh, no thank you. I am not into the cold at all. Then you've got spring. Now spring is really, really pretty. All the flowers starting to bloom and, you know, leaves on the trees and all the lovely baby animals and stuff because I live in the country and you see all the lambs and, you know, things like that. But again, it rains a lot. So it's a bit like, yeah. Summer, I really cannot stand being hot and sweaty. I really cannot stand it. I know in the winter you can put on extra layers, but in the summer you cannot generally in decent society go around in the nuddy or nicky. So I really struggle in the summer. I've also got to be really careful of my skin because I've explained in a previous video that I had skin cancer as a child, so I cannot get sunburnt. I have to be super careful in the sun. So the summer is a real pain in the butt for me, to be fair, and I'm just so sticky and sweaty and uncomfortable and just feeling gross all the time. So yeah, I'm not a big summer fan. Autumn, the majority of autumn I can get on board with. I love the beautiful colours that you see out in nature. You know, I love that it's starting to cool down after the summer. It's just starting, you know, to come into winter. But again, towards the end of the autumn, you've got the rain. I mean, here in the UK, it rains no matter what season it is, to be fair. It's just constant. I think we get about 3 days of summer. And the rest of the time it's just wet and miserable or freezing. So, out of all of them, I think I'm going to pick autumn. You know, nice autumn walks with the kids when they're crunching through the leaves and kicking all the leaves and, you know, all the pretty colours and stuff. Yeah, I'm going to go with autumn. Okay, movie. Again, far too many. I have watched all the Harry Potters more times than you can count. I really love The Green Mile, Forrest Gump, Castaway, Mrs. Doubtfire, Patch Adams. There are loads and loads and loads. Shutter Island, that was a good one. You know, yeah, there are a lot of super good movies out there. But if I have to pinpoint it down, I've only watched it recently, actually, within the last 12 months. And it was actually Mike that suggested that I watch it because he'd seen it and I hadn't. He was like, "What? You're a girl and you haven't seen it?" He said, "I'm a guy and I've seen it." And I was like, "Well, what are you talking about?" He was like, "The Notebook. You have to watch The Notebook." So yeah, if I have to pick one, that really got me. Really, really got me. It impacted me quite a bit, that one. So I think The Notebook, as a recent, real gem that I have found. Another one that is really good is My Sister's Keeper. They're kind of on a par. They're both sad and they're both heart-wrenching and they pull on your heartstrings, but I do like a good weepy. It's a genuine excuse to cry, and get some of the feels out. So yeah, I'm gonna go with The Notebook on that one. Smell. Okay, I have lots of favourite smells. I really love apple. Apple is a good one for me. Most fruits, actually. The only thing that I don't like are citrus smells. I really don't like oranges and limes and lemons. It just knocks me a bit sick, and I don't know why. I really can't do citrus. And another thing I can't do is coffee. Oh, just the smell of that, and so yeah, I like fruity smells, but more like your berries or apple, pomegranate, that kind of thing. I love fruity smells that aren't citrus. I really love at Christmas time apple and cinnamon together. Oh, that is just so Christmas to me, and I love that smell. Other generic smells, I love freshly baked bread, freshly mown grass. Um, yeah, yeah, there's a few there. If I have to pick my ultimate though, I'm gonna go with fruity smells because that could be perfume, that could be cleaning products. Yeah, we'll go with fruity smells. Best friend. Okay, so I have two in the real world, outside of YouTube. I have my friend Charlie who lives up in Yorkshire. He moved away a couple of years ago now. He's settled, he's got a wonderful partner, they've got a lovely life going on up there. He saw me through teens, secondary school, into our early 20s. He has been my absolute rock, my absolute diamond. I love him to absolute pieces and I miss him so incredibly much. It is not even funny. To the point where when his name's mentioned, I almost burst into tears because I miss my Charlie Bear so much. So yeah, there's Charlie up in Yorkshire. He is just absolutely amazing. And then I have my wonderful, wonderful Dawny. And I'm the only one who calls her Dawny. It's just Dawn, but Manfa has to call her Dawny. I met her a few years back. Our two youngest are in the same class, and our middle ones are in the same class. And our eldest is only a few years between them. So I have known Dawn now for, it's got to be getting on for 6, 7+ years. And we see each other every morning on the school run, every afternoon on school pickup. We regularly meet up and have a catch up. And she's just a wonderful person, and I would be lost without her. She is my daily sounding board, my daily support system, alongside my family, of course. Yeah, she's just a wonderful human being. Everyone needs a Dawny in their life. But obviously I have made some really, really close friends here on YouTube too. But I'm not going to list any of them because I don't want to leave anyone out or upset somebody because I didn't say their name. But there are some wonderful, wonderful friends here in the Yarny Fibre community. And I am so glad that I have met each and every one of you because you are just awesome, awesome people. You are my kind of people. Decade. Okay, so this might actually shock you. Well, it might not shock you. Um, Obviously, the decade where my children were born was obviously a good decade because I had my babies, and that was um, the noughties actually. So obviously they were important years to me, but actually, um, the tail end of the teens, the 2000 teens, tail end of that, and the beginning of the 2020s. I'm in my best decade at the moment. So I'm in my 30s. So when I hit 30, That was a massive year for me. A lot of things changed. Myself and the boys' dad split. That was very turbulent, very upsetting, a really, really difficult phase to get through. It was heartbreaking seeing my children so distraught, but we got through the other side. And that was the year I turned 30. But also in that same year, I met Mike, and I'm still with Mike now. So I don't want it to come across as out with the old and in with the new, but it pretty much was. And that was 5 years ago now. So my personal decade of my 30s has been the most life-changing, and it's also been life-changing as well because just recently I found YouTube. I've started my YouTube channel. I've said on previous videos that I think this is one of the best chapters of my life so far. So if you're actually talking about time decades for music and stuff like that, it would be the 80s. For having my children, it would be the noughties, but I actually think that this period now of my 30s is my best decade so far, and I'm excited to see what the second half of my 30s brings and what my 40s, 50s, etc. So I hope that answered the question without being too confusing. I think I went off on a little bit of a squirrel then, but you know. YouTube channel. The only YouTube channels I watch are Yarny related. I'm just trying to think. Oh, goodness gracious. Well, when Mike and I, not me and Mike, Mike and I, when Mike and I first met, he was big into gaming on the Xbox and things. And he used to watch some gamers on there. So you've got PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, and a few others. And because they were the only non-Yarny YouTube channels that I really watched before I found my Yarny channels, if I had to pick out of those, I'm not into gaming. I'm really not interested. I'm sorry if that offends anyone. It's just not my bag. I'd rather read a book, crochet obviously, but I'm not allowed to say that, or watch a movie or some telly. So I'm not into gaming, but out of the three that he used to watch, I think my favourite was Jacksepticeye. So we'll go with Jacksepticeye because I can't think of anything else. And I think I did it. Let's just count and make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Yes, that's the 23. So I hope that gave you a little bit more knowledge about me, maybe some things that you didn't know before. I hope it was interesting. Any other questions you've got, feel free to drop them down in the comments and I will either answer them, or I can do another question and answer video if you like, if there's things that you want to know, especially for all you newbies that may not know me as well as some of the more regular ones that have been here for a while. Yes, so there we go, guys. Now I've got to think of people that I need to tag. Do you know what? I'm going to cop out. Sorry, guys. I'm going to duck out of this one. I'm not going to tag anyone in particular. If you have not done this tag, 23 non-yarny things about me, I will leave, you know, the list of the favourites that you need to answer down in my description box. And if you haven't done it and you feel you want to do it, then please, please, please do feel free and go ahead and say that I tagged you. I am fine with you saying Manfa tagged me. Yeah, so we'll leave it at that. Anyone that wants to give it a go and give us some more information about yourselves, that'll be great. And I'll be sure to check it out as and when I have the time and I get round to your house. So yes, there we go. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. And I will see you in the next one. And I think the next one might be just a little bit exciting. Well, it's exciting to me. So if you want to know what it is, come back and see what I'm going on about. Some of you will be like, oh, it's not that interesting, but maybe some of you will. And I'm super excited, like beyond excited, like squealing, nearly tinkling my pants excited. But don't build your hopes up, guys. It's probably not that exciting for you, but it is for me and I want to share it with you. So we will do that in the next one. So until then, I will see you around the YouTube streets. I hope that you stay safe, be kind, look after one another, get some good quality time in with your friends and family, and get some good quality crafting time in. And I will see you very, very soon. I love you. Bye, guys.